Violates today at insanebeats.com.
Yo, what's up, everyone? This is your boy, the real Stevie B. Decided to go ahead and shoot this video out here outside tonight. It's Friday night. It's nice. The wind is blowing. It's not hot. So I figured, hey, let's go ahead and take the camera outside. Let's talk to people from the outside. Now, today is just one of those days where, you know, I just had some things on my mind, and I figured let me just go ahead and get them out because, hey, it's whatever. And the thing that bothers me is the state of our music today. I love music. I grew up in music. If it wasn't for music, I definitely would be locked up or whatever. I probably would have went haywire. I probably would have had like some white people and kill somebody or something. I mean, who knows where I'd be without music? I mean, it just goes on who knows where I'd be without music, because even honestly, like when I grew up, I grew up in a very sheltered home. Mom and dad were very overly religious and sheltered and closed, and they didn't trust anything. They were refugees. Well, not refugees, because they weren't refugees, but they migrated here to the United States. My dad went to Canada, then down to Miami, my mom to Miami, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, they were outsiders within this community. So as outsiders kind of stick to themselves and with other outsiders. And that was the kind of upbringing that I had. We were considered outsiders, so I always felt like an outsider. I always felt different. But come to find out, which is just a whole nother story, is that the difference that I felt was really not just being an outsider in the sense of what I'm speaking about now, but I truly was an outsider. But that's a whole nother story. But anyway, it was like, yeah, I really grew up very sheltered, very closed, very boom, 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 or whatnot. So when it came to the music, I really didn't get introduced to hip-hop music first. My first music that I was introduced to was church music, gospel music, Christian music, because my parents were, my dad was a pastor, my mom obviously a pastor's wife, grew up in the church, boom, and that's what that was, and didn't really get any extracurricular activities outside of what was going on in the church, even though I went to public school. And it wasn't until probably my 6th or 7th grade year, where I actually started taking music classes as far as like music theory, reading music, so on and so forth. And the first instrument, aside from the drums, because the drums was the first instrument I ever started playing ever, and the drums will always be my first love. But the piano was actually my first instrument. I picked up and started playing and whatnot, and I liked it. I mean, even though the piano wasn't me, but I liked it. I liked the concept of music. I liked being able to express oneself. I liked being able to, at that time, I used to be very in touch with my emotions, so to speak. So it was like I could just go ahead and sing from the heart, as you would call it, through these instruments. And since then, I picked up the trumpet, saxophone, clarinet, flute. I mean, I picked up a lot of different instruments, and I got real good on a lot of different instruments. It came really natural to me. My brother right now plays the alto sax. When we was growing up, he had the alto sax, I had the trumpet, but I would of course murk the trumpet and then be like, yo bro, let me get your sax, and we go ahead and murk it on the sax, and that's exactly what I would do, because that's just who I was. Now, so that's just giving you a background as far as me and my love for music and everything that's going on. Now, as far as with hip-hop, because that's the true essence of, as far as this video, is the fact is when I would have to say 7th, 8th grade year. The year that DMX came out with a stop, drop, shut up down, open up shop. When I heard that, man, that was it. That was it, DMX. If you ever see this video, bro, I love you. I love you for what you did back then, bro. I'm sorry for what has happened to you, bro, but you will always still be a top tier MC to me. Man, your music was quality, is classic. But that's what I started off with, and from there I realized there was even more to music. I was like, wow, So after listening to DMX, that's when I started looking up a bunch of others. Now the first music I said I was introduced to was Christian music, gospel, church, whatever. After that was actually R&B through an old acquaintance. I don't even know if she's here in the States anymore. She may be in Haiti, but her name was Jemani. She introduced me to R&B music. She introduced me to Lil T, aka Seven Campbell. She introduced me to All For One. She introduced me to Voice to Man. She introduced me to a couple of others. And I was like, oh, well, okay. And I always wanted to sing once I was introduced to them. I always wanted to sing. It's like, oh, I wish I could sing. I never had the voice or anything about it. Anything, but I still wanted to know how to sing. But then rap came. When rap came, that said, bruh, you don't need to have the vocals to know how to sing. Put these words together and just rap. And that's exactly what a brother did. I started putting these words together, started getting vocal. So that's my background in music. That was pretty, I don't want to say it's extensive because I really left out a lot, but it's long enough as far as for the way this story goes. So yeah. So I grew up on Nas, I grew up on, I went back and dug up Tupac and dug up a bunch of other artists and then started working my way back towards the present and picking up on music that I was sheltered from and didn't know about. Only to realize, yo, these brothers are saying some real things. So, now granted, I mean, I'm not gonna say that all the music was always uplifting, inspirational, enlightening, teaching, so on and so forth. Of course not. I mean, every song has its niche. Every type of music has its niche that it works for. I mean, there's a place for everything. There's a place for stripper music. There's a place for party music. There's a place for house music. There's a place for club music. There's a place for just sitting there and thinking. There's a place for riding music. There's a place for all of that. But the difference between back then and right now is the balance. I'm not saying it's not there. It's definitely still there. You just have to work harder now to find the other music. And that's my beef with the industry today. My beef with the industry today is how barely a peep is made over the quality music that's supposed to reach out and convey a certain type of message that's supposed to be positive and uplifting and building to a people. That kind of music is kind of played down and is kind of blanketed, so you don't hear about it, but you definitely hear about how this nigga done beat his bitch, shot up this motherfucker, did this, did that all the time, and it's rampant in hip-hop. Hip-hop was more than that. Hip-hop was more than that when hip-hop first came out. But hip-hop today, if you let them tell it, hip-hop is nothing more than club music, party music, drug music, this, that, and third. I mean, it sucks. It sucks. And me, I love hip-hop music. Like Carmen said, I used to love her. Well, I still love her. Even though she's bastardized, even though she's horned out, even though she's doing this, she thought life right now. The music industry is thought life. Deep down inside, I still have a love for that which was, and in my eyes will always be hip-hop. Shout out to KRS-One, shout out to Rakim, shout out to Nas, One Love, Big, and Tupac, rest in peace. Shout out to Snoop. And as far as like the newer cast that really I feel like I can still grow and vibe with, that still talk to me on my level, shout out to Cole, shout out to KRIT, shout out to Wale, K-Dot, I'll give you some shout out even though you got my flow, but it's all good, because one thing, if you've been following me, The Real Stevie B, and you've listened to the songs that I put out so far and everything, you already know that Stevie B is a man of many flows. I can flow one way here, one flow the next. I'll put out a whole CD and every track has a different flow on it, because that's just who I am. I just go with what the track tells me. But I just feel like, because maybe it's because that I never solidified a certain image that they wanted. I didn't allow myself to be boxed in and packaged. Things didn't go the way one may have dreamed it to go. I used to. I mean, I used to until I realized what was up. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm good where I'm at, and I'm gonna continue teaching. I'm gonna continue trying to let people know there's more to just not being loyal. There's more to just being a thought. There's more to this goon life. Or I mean, it's just like back in the day when people rapped about life and everything like that. They rapped about it as in the case as, yo, this is what's going on. This shit sucks, or this is what's happening, and fuck it, I'm gonna get mine through it, boom, boom, and I'm still gonna be me type of thing. That's what it was. Not today. Today it's now thug life. Man, you look at me the wrong way, I'm finna murk you right now. Nigga, what size your J's? My size. Oh, that your bitch? I'm taking your bitch. I'ma fuck your bitch. All this other shit. Drugs. Cocaine, crack, cocaine, moving work, pounds, kilos. Fuck.